Sussex. Travel you trust. Call 03459 570057.
Other news today, anti-fracking protesters have gathered outside an oil test drilling site at Horse Hill near Gatwick. The group has set up a small camp nearby, even though the site operators have said they have no intention of fracking at the site. Our environment correspondent, Yvette Austin, was given exclusive access to the site. She spoke to Stephen Sanderson of UK Oil and Gas. The company have been granted permission to test for oil at the site. She asked him if there will be any fracking there.
Emphatically not. We've designed it, our objectives are not required to have fracking. We're looking at 700 metres below the surface here, and there is a UK-wide ban on doing any fracking above 1,000 metres, so it's not legally possible, and we wouldn't entertain it.
And if you are successful here, are you looking at more of these sites?
Well, clearly, if oil flows here commercially, then we could actually apply this to many other sites around the area where there's a very large volume of oil in the ground. If that works, clearly, then we're looking at very good news for the UK, because it's billions of pounds in a boost to the economy. Is very good for the country in the fact that we will have nationwide jobs, but particularly for the southeast, we'll have a lot of local jobs and a lot of knock-ons from business rate taxes and all the associated induced employment that comes from it.
Well, protesters have gathered at the site. A community protection camp has been established by the Horse Hill Protection Group. Vanessa Vine is representing the protesters who've gathered at the site. Vanessa, thank you for joining us on the programme.
Okay.
Now, we heard there emphatically no fracking, so why are you protesting?
What a tangled web we weave. The government has changed the definition of fracking so that they can very neatly not use the F word. They're flow testing for tight oil, which includes shale oil. If they find it in amounts that are worth recovering, they will need to use unconventional processes, which include using diesel underground, hydrofluoric acid, all the things that have been used before. This is a technology that has been proven. This is beyond argument now. It triggers seismic activity. When the wells are re-injected, it causes horrendous air pollution and water pollution. It is economic folly. It's a Ponzi scheme. The local people in Surrey, I've just come back from the site now, more and more local people are coming along saying, but surely they're not fracking, and they're being told it's safe and it's all right.
Don't we have to believe them when they say that they're not fracking? And also, they've been given permission to test for oil. What right do campaigners have to try and stop them from something that they're entitled to do? They're allowed to do it.
If somebody threatened your life, your health, and that of your children, if you have children, Sarah, do you feel you would have a right peacefully to protest against that?
Although, the argument's there, a boost to the economy, a boost to jobs, we need...
Okay, so Quadrilla, I think in the Lancashire have admitted now that their operations up there will provide, I think it's 12 local jobs. It's all brought in. It's not. This is what they do. They play on people's need for employment. They play on people's fears about energy security. We don't need to get more polluting hydrocarbons out of the ground. We need to be reinvesting in renewable energy that's safe, that will give us lasting jobs and will not threaten, will not pollute our air. There's water running off that site. Coming out of... We filmed it coming off the site.
That's your view, of course.
It's not my view.
It is your view, though. It's very much polarises opinion. There are other views, there's other research that's been done. None of this has necessarily been proved, has it?
Perhaps your listeners would be interested to know that we've had UCOG investors, people claiming to be UCOG investors, coming onto the Facebook page threatening physical violence against the people who are peacefully standing in front of the gates of the site.
Well, they're not here. Hang on a minute, though, Vanessa. They're not here to respond to that, so it's very unfair of you to make those allegations when they're not actually
here. They're not allegations. We've got evidence of them.
No, they are allegations, and they're not here to respond. So, we can't accept that those views are certainly not associated in any way with the BBC. We would never allow those views on air without giving them the opportunity to respond to them. So,
I'm just telling you what's happened.
How long are you expecting this protest to continue? Could we expect another repeat of the Balcombe situation?
Absolutely, and the Barton Moss situation, and any other situation across the country where this current government is facilitating an ecocidal, suicidal, potentially homicidal industry. We've got people in Pennsylvania, farmers there, whose cattle are dying. One guy who said they've killed the cattle, they'll kill the people next, and then he died of a rare brain tumour. This is not alarmist scaremongering, Sarah. These people really need to look into the facts of what this is about, and don't believe this industry government spin that they're not fracking. It is an unconventional process.
Do people really want another situation like that at Balcombe?
I don't think anybody who's there wants that. None of the people, including the young man who was arrested, had handcuffs put on him this morning without warning and has been taken into a police cell and had beads cut out of his hair. He's been personally violated. That's against his religious beliefs. This is to happen today. All he was doing was walking along quietly on the road with a hula hoop. They grabbed him and arrested him and cut his hair.
But you're protesting, you're standing protesting at something, you know, as we said, as we mentioned earlier on in the interview, they have the right to be there, they're allowed to be there.
We have a right.
The police have to maintain the situation that they can do that.
The police take an oath to protect life and property. They should be protecting the life and property of the local people and the lives of people who are defending themselves and the local environment. They should not be doing what they're doing, which is facilitating government manipulated
Sussex
industry.
police again aren't here to defend those allegations. Surrey police, and again, you know, they have a job to do, and they have to carry out without getting involved in the rights and wrongs of something.
We've had lots of conversations with them today. They've actually admitted that they did it wrong this morning.
Vanessa, thank you very much indeed for joining us on the programme, and of course, you know, Vanessa's got some very strong views there, and as we mentioned, no proof of any of those allegations that have been made. Now, other news on the way this afternoon.